It all started on a bright Monday morning. The sun was shining through the dusty windows of my apartment, but I didn't feel its warmth. I was 30, independent, and had been working tirelessly for months to pay for my medical fees. My entire savings were finally enough to cover my tuition, and today was the day I would deposit the money and finally breathe a sigh of relief. Little did I know, life had other plans. I walked into the bank with a sense of accomplishment. The crisp, white sheets of my fee receipt were in my hand, the exact amount needed scribbled neatly on top. My heart raced with anticipation, imagining the relief I would feel once my payment was confirmed. But as I approached the teller, my stomach dropped. "Ma'am, I'm afraid your account balance is zero," the teller said, her expression polite but firm. I blinked. "Zero? That's impossible," I whispered, feeling the world tilt beneath me. I had been checking my account daily, and I had watched my balance grow steadily over months. How could it possibly be gone? "I'm sorry, ma'am. There seems to be a discrepancy," she continued. "We will need to investigate." A chill ran down my spine. Something was very wrong. I asked for details, but the teller could offer none. She handed me a form to fill out for a fraud claim. My hands trembled as I scribbled my personal information, my mind racing with fear and disbelief. Hours passed. Calls were made. Emails were sent. But the bank's response was slow, vague, and increasingly frustrating. Every word from them felt like a punch in the gut. Someone had emptied my account. Someone had stolen my hard-earned money. And now, my tuition was at risk. I stepped out of the bank, my vision blurry with unshed tears. I had worked so hard, saved every penny, and now it was all gone. My future, my dreams of completing my medical course, felt like they were slipping through my fingers. I tried to calm myself, taking deep breaths. I knew panicking wouldn't help. I had to think logically. I called my father, hoping his wisdom and calm demeanor could guide me through this storm. "Abu, something terrible has happened," I said, my voice quivering. "My account, it's empty. All my savings, gone. I don't know what to do." There was silence on the other side for a moment, and then his voice came, steady and reassuring. "Don't worry, Beta. Stay calm. I'll handle this." Within minutes, he was on his way. Seeing him walk into the bank beside me brought a strange mixture of relief and pride. My father, a man of quiet strength, had always been my anchor. And today, he would be my savior. He spoke with the bank manager firmly but politely, demanding a full explanation. He showed the receipts, my statements, and every document that proved I had the funds. The bank floundered under his calm, yet authoritative questions. Something in the way he handled the situation made it clear, they couldn't hide anything from him. After what felt like hours, the manager finally admitted there had been an internal error. My money wasn't lost to some external hacker or fraudster, it had been a technical glitch. But the damage was done. The stress, the fear, the tears, I had endured all of it. My father didn't stop there. He immediately withdrew the full amount of my fees from his account, ensuring that my tuition was paid that very day. I watched in awe and gratitude as he handed the teller the money, his calm confidence putting everyone in the room at ease. Once the fees were settled, my father turned to me, a gentle smile on his face. "Beta, sometimes life tests us in ways we can't predict. But remember this, courage, patience, and faith in yourself, and in those who love you, will always see you through." I hugged him tightly, feeling an overwhelming surge of relief and love. That day, I realized that money could be regained, accounts could be fixed, but the support and trust of family were priceless. The next few days, the bank continued their investigation, but I no longer felt the panic that had consumed me. My father's presence had turned fear into confidence. Even as they apologized profusely and assured me the technical glitch had been corrected, I knew the lesson I had learned was far more valuable than the money I almost lost. I went back to my studies with a renewed sense of determination. Every time I sat in class or studied late into the night, I remembered that morning, the fear, the uncertainty, the helplessness, and how my father had been there to anchor me through it all. I also realized that sometimes, asking for help wasn't a sign of weakness, it was a sign of strength. Months later, I received a letter from the bank confirming that all funds were accounted for, and the issue had been resolved. They even offered a token of compensation for the inconvenience, but I didn't care about that. What mattered was the unwavering support of my father, the lesson of resilience, and the knowledge that no matter how steep the storm, I wouldn't have to face it alone. That incident became a story I often recounted to friends and colleagues. Never take the small moments of security for granted, I would say. Check your accounts, yes, but also trust the people who care about you, they are your true safety net. Even today, years later, the memory is vivid. I remember the tight knot in my stomach when I first saw the empty balance. I remember the silent panic that threatened to overwhelm me. But most importantly, I remember my father's calm, steady presence, the way he turned despair into action, and fear into reassurance. That morning, my world had almost collapsed. But through the chaos, I learned the true meaning of family, trust, and resilience. I had faced a financial nightmare, but I walked away with something far greater, faith in humanity, and faith in the people who love you most. And in a strange way, I even felt grateful. Grateful for the scare, because it reminded me who I could rely on, who truly stood by me, and what courage really meant. That day, the bank didn't just test my patience, they tested my spirit. And with my father by my side, I passed with flying colors.